Hello, happy Monday, my savvy service provider, scaling to 10K months. Welcome. Today we have a really great case study, mini masterclass, whatever you want to call it. It's about how my client increased last year's cash. So increased 2024 cash by $65,000 without working extra, without adding any more expenses. She also crossed the $1 million mark for lifetime revenue. Yay. So we're going to dive into that because this is something that literally every business owner needs to know. And the good news is that this applies to any business. It applies to any offer. It applies to any business model. It applies to any stage or phase of business. It's really for anyone. And that's kind of the bad news, is that basically every business owner I know needs this information and needs the three things that I worked on with this client. So we're going to dive into that today. Let me pull myself up in the group first. We'll do a little housekeeping. You can see my blanket here. It's rainy in Charleston. We just had spring forward. Like, I went out of town. I took all three girls to Spartanburg. So we drove across the state to do a dance competition. And it was amazing. Like, Saturday was amazing. I hung out with my mom. We got to see my dad. I got to see my best friend of 30 years. She brought me a wrap from my favorite place. Like, it was basically like a magical day. And then we had the time change on Sunday, and I'd pack everyone back, drive back across the state, get the dog. Sunday was very exhausting. So this morning I gave myself permission to just sleep in. I didn't get up, at my regular time. I mean, I got up at my regular time, how it felt for my body, but not in terms of like the actual time with the time change. I let myself sleep. So it was a slower morning, and now it's just like a dreary, rainy day in Spartanburg. Where am I? I'm in Charleston. It's a dreary, rainy day in Charleston. So my mood and my level of excitement just might be a little bit more downplayed today, even though, I don't know, I get really fired up about this topic. So I might get some more energy and get more animated as we're talking through this. So if you join live, please say hello, ask your questions, leave your comments. I'll be sure to keep checking my computer because sometimes comments and everything don't show up on my phone. But if you comment, say hi, ask a question, there I am. You'll be entered to win a free sold out strategy session. So these are 1-to-1 30-minute coaching calls. I used to offer these publicly all the time, and now I just don't have the capacity on my schedule. I'm a fully booked 1-to-1 coach. So I literally, there's not time on my schedule. But as a thank you, I always like to give these away. I'm actually opening up 6 for the next month. I promoted it in the group on Friday. So if you're here, say hi. We'll be sure to get you the link so that you can get one of these calls. These are so powerful, and the reason I'm opening them back up is because my clients can get such results from just one session. I know the good that can be done in 30 minutes of 1-to-1 support. Like, I just had one this morning, and you can walk away and feel really good that someone knows you and understands what you're going through, and that I've got your back. Like, I have 9 years of experience in the online space. I've supported clients 1-to-1 capacity for the past 4 years. So I know my stuff. And so this is just a great way for you to get support, to be like, here, Jordan, like, this is my offer. This is my goal. This is what's happening. Like, where's the kink in the hose? Where's the disconnect? Like, what do I need to be focusing on right now? And we'll work together. I can diagnose that, and then we'll get you some great concrete steps to walk away and move forward, and to be able to implement on whatever that problem is that you need to solve right now, because that is just so powerful. No group program, no course, no podcast, nothing out there for free in the online space is going to give you this kind of just like 1-to-1 clarity and direction in your business. So really excited to offer those. So be sure to say hi and ask your questions. So let's dive in. That is the housekeeping. Let's talk about the details of this client's results, because this is something that should be normal. You being able to scale your cash in 1 year by $65,000 while working less, or at least not more, while keeping your expenses the same, should be normal, because that is the true definition of scaling. That is what, everyone online is talking about scaling, but they're typically not talking about it in the way that I am, which means scaling cash, scaling revenue, but not working more, but not increasing expenses. This is a very doable, simple thing to do, but it's not easy. So we're going to talk through the 3 things that this client and I worked on. Okay, so we'll dive into her results. Again, she increased her 2024 cash by $65,000. She didn't work more. She's actually taken a lot of trips. Every time I see her on Instagram, I feel like she's off on a ski trip with her family. She just had a 32K launch, which is one of her biggest ones yet. It's the same launch that we have tweaked and refined over and over and over. And this is just like, this is what business growth should look like. So we should have more money coming in without more hours worked. We should have more freedom and more flexibility. And this is why scaling should feel really simple and not stressful. Because most service providers never experience this. Most people that I see online or that I connect with struggle because the online space has told them that they need more offers, or they need more content, or they need more traffic, or they need more visibility, or they need more systems. And this is why I only offer one-to-one support. This is why I'm opening a week-long one-to-one coaching session this month, because there is nothing like having someone like me in your back pocket to really help you refine what your business needs. Like, I have built my business on my values. I support my clients to build a business based on their values and what feels in alignment. And so all of that stuff in the online space about more content, more offers, more visibility, like, some of it may be true, but it may not be true for you and what your business needs at any given moment. And having that clarity is so, so powerful. And so if you're like most business owners, if you're sitting there and you've not been able to scale your cash without scaling your work or your expenses, you're probably thinking that you're missing something. You probably think you need another course, that someone's got something that you don't know. Maybe you need to add a new service to hit your income goals. Like, I know what you're thinking because my client used to be the same way. I have worked with so many people who think that they're missing something, and I'll just go off on a little tangent here. It's like, the Wizard of Oz, and there's the curtain with the wizard behind it. I feel like everyone in the online space thinks that there's a wizard behind the curtain. And what I'm doing with my clients is not like some new secret revolutionary thing that no one has ever heard of. It's not. Like, no one has the secret. The secret is solving the right problem for your business, figuring out how to pivot from being just a service provider to being a badass CEO, knowing what your business needs at any point in time. Those are the secrets. And that's not something you can buy or pay a course or a podcast or a freebie download to give you. It's literally not there. And so let's stop searching for the wizard behind the curtain, because it doesn't exist. So I know that was a little bit of a tangent, but just to give you a little background about this client, before we were working together one-to-one. So we've been working together one-to-one since I started this. She's been a long-term client, worked together one-to-one for about 4 years. She was a bookkeeping client before that. So saw the back end of her business before, we did this coaching container. And what I really saw was she kept jumping from strategy to strategy. She kept hoping to find the thing that would work. She was doing ads over here, or a private podcast over here, or hiring this person for a course over here. She was just literally jumping all over the place. She was also like signing up for the programs, hiring the people, tweaking her business literally every few weeks. I got like whiplash every time I turned around. It was something new, something different. She was constantly changing her marketing and her offer instead of refining what was already working. And she didn't even know what was working. She didn't even give things a chance to like let it play out and work. And this is exactly why she was stuck. So the biggest mistake she made, and the mistake that I see so many business owners think, is they think that more equals better, or that complexity equals growth, or they think there's some secret that somebody has and they just need to find it and they just need to pay somebody to tell them what it is, and then they'd have 10K months already. And that is all just BS. So let's talk about scaling. I kind of mentioned it before, but let's really define that so we know as we go into this conversation and talk about the 3 things that will help you scale. It means increasing your revenue without increasing your workload. It means increasing revenue without increasing expenses. Scaling is refining what already works instead of constantly reinventing yourself, reinventing your offers, and reinventing your business. It means simplifying offers, simplifying your marketing, so sales growth feels so sustainable. So Basically, scaling is about growing smarter, not working harder. So we'll talk about what creates actual growth. So let me know if y'all hop on if you have questions. But we want to talk about creating actual growth means that you're refining what actually works instead of constantly reinventing your business. It means simplifying your offers, marketing, and growth so that it's sustainable. And it means actually focusing and moving the needle, focusing on what matters instead of chasing shiny objects. So that's what my client and I did together. That's why she added $65,000 in cash without working more. And today we're going to talk through the 3 key shifts that changed all of that. Because if you're an online service provider who feels stuck, overworked, or like you're doing all the right things but not seeing results, these 3 shifts are exactly what you need. So let's dive in. No questions so far. Let me know if you catch the replay. I want this to be super helpful for you, really tangible for you, so you can take this and go like use this in your business now. Okay, so the first thing that my client and I worked on to make this shift possible, help her create $65,000 of extra cash, help her cross the $1 million revenue mark as a female-owned business, as a mama with kids, as someone who takes Fridays off in her business, as someone who travels with her family. We helped her stop tracing every new strategy and helped her sit in the discomfort and the gap. And this is huge because before our work together, she was always looking for the next thing that would fix her business. I mean, I don't know how much money she threw at ads, but she like flushed a ton of money on ads that did nothing for her business. That's just one example. I'm not going to like go through everything here because I want to keep this super confidential. If she sees this, I don't want her to feel called out. So I'm not going to go into everything, but literally like think of all the things you see online and then think of yourself as doing all of them. And that's kind of where we were at. So after our work together, now what we're working on is really being super intentional about what we work on. So she's always messaging me on Voxer. We are in constant communication. As a one-to-one client, she gets unlimited support in between her sessions. So she is using that to be really intentional to help her stay focused. So when she wants to start going down a tangent or going down another road or going down a shiny thing, or she's very creative, she has lots of ideas, and I'm there to kind of be the dirt to bring, not be the dirt to bring her down in a bad way, to just kind of refocus, like, hey, this is kind of what we're focused on right now. That's not really solving for that. So while it's a great idea, it might be really fun. That's something we can put on deck for another time, or the trade-off would look like this if you wanted to pursue that route right now, and just being that reflection to her, because sitting in the gap is the most uncomfortable, not fun place to be. And I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough in the online space, because strategy hopping keeps you stuck, but intentional action moves you forward. And this is hard. And this is why I only offer one-to-one support, because it's hard sitting in the gap when you're waiting for a strategy to play out. I give my clients so much credit. It is the hardest thing to do. It is the hardest place to be in business. And it's why most people quit. Our brains are sneaky. Our brains are smart. It will build all the evidence why this isn't working, why your strategy isn't working, why it won't work for you, why it won't work for your business. And there's so much science that just backs up like why your brain does this. It is an amazing kind of thing from an evolutionary standpoint, but it's not going to make you successful. Like, it has a preference for novelty. And I was actually listening to a podcast about dopamine this weekend, and it was very fascinating. I'm not even a person who's like, feels like I'm addicted to my phone, but I see so much of like social media and just the way the online space is set up is to really trigger and hit on those dopamine triggers. And so we love that. We crave that. Like, we need that dopamine fix. And so our brain has that reward system that releases the dopamine when we get like new stimulation, when we get that sense of pleasure or motivation. And it's that novelty bias that encourages the pursuit of new strategies, even when existing ones are effective, or even when they haven't had the chance to play out. That's something I typically see, is not even when something is working yet, but it hasn't even had the chance to work because we're so impatient. Any strategy takes 30, 60, 90 days of implementing on it, consistently, and I'm talking like daily, it needs time to play out. And no one, especially when you're on the online space and you're looking around at everything out there and what people are telling you, it is so hard to sit in a strategy that doesn't look like it's working on the outside for 30, 60, 90 days. That's like 3 months minimum to have something play out. Ain't nobody doing that. They're like, this isn't working. After 2 weeks, I've kind of sold it. Let's move on to something else. That happens all the time, and the online space really is set up to support that. That is the avoidance of discomfort. That is the brain perceiving uncertainty and discomfort as threats. It's activating the parts of the brain, the amygdala, is that what it's called? I used to be a nurse, I should know this. That like lizard brain part, it's triggering stress responses. And our brains literally want to avoid that discomfort. We want to avoid it so bad. So when I worked together with this client, she had me in her corner, first of all, to have the data to show her that it is working. This is why, as a special bonus, I build all of my clients' traffic dashboards. We start a UTM strategy because these are the breadcrumbs that they need to see that a strategy is working before it pops. This is the like I'm all about the woo and the manifestation, and I'm also about grounding into 3D reality and having the nuggets and having the data to support someone to stay in the discomfort, because it is so easy to feel like something is not working and want to tap out. And so me having the data literally helps them stay in it to show them what's working. I was also in her back corner really to just help her sit in that discomfort and help her ride it out and help her see all the stories that she was making it mean, because our brain kicks up so much, whether it's lowercase t trauma or uppercase T trauma, our brain will start making it mean something when we sit in that discomfort, and it's just so much easier to tap out of it so we don't have to sit in that and have all that stuff come up. But again, that's why I only offer one-to-one. That's why I have zero plans to change it. It's why my clients get such amazing ROIs, is because no one else out there in a group program or a podcast or a mastermind or a women's board no one's helping them sit in that discomfort and handle all the SHIT that comes with it, because some SHIT comes up with it. And sometimes I cuss, but today I'm spelling it out. I don't know. She doesn't feel like cussing as much today, but here we are. And so this is why people strategy hop. They can't sit in that discomfort. Their brain will give them all the reasons to show them it's not working. I mean, our brains can basically convince us of anything. Like this morning, I needed to sleep in. I set my alarm for 5 o'clock, which with the time change, my body felt like it was 4 o'clock. And I talked myself into sleeping in and gave myself all the reasons I should. And I actually honor that in myself. Like, I'm not saying that that's bad, but like, I can see how it was just literally like my brain can convince me of anything. So I had a slower morning, and that's fine. But just see, your brain can literally validate and find all the reasons for anything. Just like if you go onto Google or go online and ask a question, you can basically find the data to support anything. Like, hey, does a peanut butter diet help me lose weight? That's literally something I Googled in college. Yeah, you can find something out there that tells you a peanut butter diet will help you lose weight. And here's all the recipes with peanut butter. Like, you can find anything to validate, and your brain will find any reason to make you hop out and jump out of the discomfort. And that's not going to build a scalable business. So I feel like I've talked about that one enough. The second piece with this client specifically is she committed to one offer and one funnel. Before, she thought she needed so many offers, and she did. She had a huge hodgepodge of offers. She was barely making like $4,000 a month. So together, we focused on a Grand Slam offer, and we got really intentional about the sales process to go with it. So basically a way to nurture someone who just landed on her, who was cold, nurture them through this sales process, nurture them through the ladder, the client journey to being someone to pay thousands of dollars for her high ticket offer. So the lesson here is that you don't need more offers. You probably don't even need more content. You probably don't even need more traffic. You probably just need a simple, scalable strategy. So why this is hard, why I only offer one-to-one support, why you can hire me for a week-long coaching intensive is because the digital landscape is saturated with courses and programs. There are literally thousands of people online telling you to do otherwise, telling you to just do what they did, use this template, use this course, use this copy paste thing. Like, we have information overload, and the marketing out there is really, really good. So we have FOMO. We feel like if someone, says that this is going to work, they do their messaging in a way that like makes us believe it, and we buy it, and then we realize, oh shit, like this isn't what I needed. It made so much sense, and it might solve a problem and help someone else who's in a different position or has a different business or has different values or needs something else, but it's not helping me. And so the information out there does not behoove you to just do one offer and one funnel. Oh my gosh. Mom group dance text messages. You're going to see me like getting rid of those because they're off the charts right now. That's distracting me because this is hard because most people are too scared to focus just on one offer and one funnel that supports that. It feels risky. I'm going to tell you, it's risky not to. It is risky to have like a huge, vast array of offers and no clear sales process or ladder or journey. It is more risky to continue with low ticket, hourly, done for you services than create something that gives someone a transformation. And we talked about this last week, but it bears repeating. One offer, one simple funnel, you can take that to multi 6 and 7 figures so much easier than just a hodgepodge of $300 offers, or even like web designers I know. And I'm just using web designers because it's just literally popped in my brain. But web designers who go from like hourly rates to like, okay, here's a $3,000 offer. Yes, it's high ticket, but you've got to sell those all the time. And the amount of those $3,000 web redesign total things you can do, they probably take a lot of time. And then again, you have to constantly keep finding them. So yes, that is a high ticket offer because it's a high dollar amount, but it's not giving someone a bigger transformation or a bigger, outcome. It's not 10xing their ROI is what I'm saying. That's what a high ticket offer does. That's what one, simple funnel leading to a high ticket offer will do. So that's what I want you to think about, is being willing to get really clear on what that high ticket offer is and what that funnel is to support it so that you can truly scale your business. Because again, with the like web design thing that just popped in my mind, it's like, yes, that will make you more money, but you're still constantly having to find those clients. You're putting a lot of time and effort into it. So it's really not the definition of scaling. You're still having to scale your hours and sales and more clients in addition to that revenue number. So that's what we want to unhook from. And that's what I support people with. Even in a one-off, week-long intensive, we can create that high ticket offer that's going to give someone a 10x ROI. That's going to be something that they can't resist, that they know will change their life or their business or their wellness. This is what we're really doing. Because when cash gets low, the web design, the bookkeeping, the social media management, all those low ticket done for you hourly things are the first to get cut. And that's not what we want. That is a risky place to be. So again, this is why I only offer one-on-one support, because I am always supporting clients and wanting them to be irreplaceable by their clients. That is what true scaling can do for you. Is it doesn't come from a canned course telling you what to do. It comes from knowing you, your audience, your strengths, what they need, what they can't just Google or get from AI or have an assistant do. This is why I do these week-long coaching intensives, to create these breakthrough offers, because we can create this within a week together, but it does take being super intentional. So if you're interested, after this, I will drop the link below for a consult. Not even to purchase though 1 week. This is something that I would definitely want to talk first. If nothing else, you're going to have clarity before we go into the week-long coaching intensive together. But with us really working together with this client, she was able to refine her offer so that it gives her audience a really big ROI, and it is something that they need. And so we constantly and we're consistently talked about the problems they had, how we showed that her offer solved it, and using that problem awareness in her marketing, because that's also the key. I was talking about this with a business owner this morning. Their content was good, but it just didn't have the problem awareness. So nobody was buying. it didn't do anything for them because she was talking like 5 steps down the road and she needs to meet them where they're at. And so this is what I see so many people do. And again, we can do a week-long coaching intensive about your messaging and really dialing it in so that you're creating problem awareness, so that people understand that they need to take that next step with you, so that you're not talking over their head or talking like 5 steps down the road and they're just not there yet. So again, that's something we can do in this one-to-one week-long coaching intensive. Okay, so on to number 3. And this one is one that like I feel like nobody wants to hear. But she stopped trying to DIY everything and she let herself get coached. So before our work together, she was literally doing everything on her own. She was trying to create the offer. She was trying to market the offer. She was trying to get visible. She was trying to attract best fit leads. She was trying to convert the leads. She was trying to hire a team. She was trying to deliver on the offer. She was trying to like do everything all on her own without really knowing the right problem to solve at any given time. And this is bonkers. And I really equate this as like the message that we're given as moms, that we're supposed to just do everything and do it perfectly and do it with a smile on our face and do it with perfect hair and perfect clothes and, you know, whatever cute outfit. Like, it's all just bullshit. Like, I need someone to help me clean my house. I need my husband to help drive the kids to and from school a couple days a week. I need help getting food planned and cooked. Like, I can't do everything. And that is how we are as business owners. And I get it, because after this work, she just let herself be coached. She has turned into someone who lets herself be coached. And it's so beautiful to see that, like, now we're finding the right problem to solve at any given time. She's not going and tinkering with like any little piece of her business just because she feels like she has some kind of sales problem. Like, she's not creating problems that don't exist. She has me to help her determine, you know, is it the structure of the offer? Is it attracting the right people? Is it converting them? Is it a capacity problem? Or do we need to increase the price? Or do we need to increase traffic? Like, she had me with her to problem solve every step of the way, because there are so many places she could have wasted time for years, for weeks, for months, trying to fix things that didn't need fixing. And so being able to show up and get coached and having it reflected to her, like, this is actually not a problem we need to solve. I'm actually looking right here, and that kind of seems like the place to dial in. So this is the lesson, is that you can keep trying to put all the pieces together yourself, or you can get one-to-one direct support so that you can move forward faster in less time. I had like another example I was gonna share, but it just went out of my brain. But this is why, like, it's hard, because entrepreneurs, we love control, we love freedom, we love self-reliance. Like, I get it, I'm the same way, but it makes it harder to get support, and especially from one-to-one. Like, I give my clients so much credit because it is hard to be seen. It is hard to have something reflected to you that you may have shown up and thought it was one problem, and your coach is sitting there, you know, I'm sitting there telling you like, hey, I really don't think this is a problem we need to solve. Or, hey, I see you and like feel you, and the business needs this from you. Like, you as a person may need this other thing, but the business needs this. So how can we separate the two, give you what you need, and then give the business what it needs? That is so much of my work with clients, because yes, they are a human, but we also want them to show up as a CEO who is not like getting their lowercase and uppercase T trauma wrapped up in their business and intertwined, and like not separating those things. And so that's what I'm doing with my clients and really supporting them to do. That's why I've renewed with my one-to-one coach 9 times, because I need this reflection too. I need to show up clean for my clients. I need to show up clean for my business, be able to see things and step back. And so having that one-to-one support to help me do so is key. And my clients get an ROI. Typically, I was running the math, they get an ROI of 3x to 20x. So basically, every dollar they invest in coaching typically results in 3 to 20 times that on the other end. And again, this is like so out of integrity to promise results. Not every single client gets this. Sometimes it's just a matter of like time, and like it just takes time for something to play out. Like, it's not like everybody gets this kind of ROI in 19 days. Yes, I've seen it happen, and depending on where you are in business and what your business needs, I just can't like promise that kind of ROIs, but I am so sold on my services and on my support and feel really solid working with clients because I know that it makes a difference. So where else can you get that kind of ROI? Like nowhere. I mean, I haven't looked at what the stock market is doing recently, but I don't think it gets that kind of ROI. And this is something that I've just seen over and over to be the thing that changes people's businesses. I have so many clients come to me and they have invested in the other things. They have done the courses, they have done the group programs, they have gone to the women's, networking events and the women's panel communities, and they've listened to the podcast and they've done the freebie downloads and they've done all of that. They are smart people. They know their SHIT, and they're just at a point where they realize that like that stuff doesn't create a multi-six-figure business. Like if that stuff created a multi-six-figure business, everyone would be a multi-six or seven-figure business, and it just doesn't. So again, that's why I'm opening a week-long coaching intensive, because I know there's someone out there who's ready to be done with all of that SHIT and who's ready to actually step into their business and give it what it needs and be the CEO, not just the service provider spinning their wheels. And I get it, like the cheaper stuff feels like it's cheaper, but it's actually costing us money later on. It's costing us clients. It's leaving money on the table. It's not actually cheaper. It's just helping you spin your wheels and feel wrong and not get the results that you want. And I'm not here for that. So let's recap. Scaling is doing things differently than you see in the online space. Like we have to be willing to be the weirdo. And I like love the term weirdo, and I love using that phrase because I just embrace it and I'm willing to be the weirdo. Like posted in my stories yesterday, I'm willing to be the weirdo dance mom who's sitting out by myself with my headphones on listening to relaxing music when every other single mom is listening to the awards. Like I'm just willing to be the weirdo. And that's how I am in the online space. I'm willing to not do all the other shit that everyone is telling me to do. So constantly across my feed, I see people saying sales calls are dead. You don't need them. You need this $37 content vault, which is hilarious because you could follow someone and that's basically their content vault. So like that to me is crazy making. And let's just talk about, and I know we're on the end here, let's talk about the fact that the online space, everything is out there. Like if you're looking for the secret, you can literally follow any multi-six or seven-figure business owner and see everything that they're doing. You can look at their offers, what they're charging. You can look at the reels they do. You can look at the carousel slides. You can sign up for their freebie. You can get their email sequence. You can literally get everything handed to you. And of course, I would not recommend copying it, but if you did, you're still not going to get the results they did. Like, let's just talk about the fact that that's hilarious. Like, everyone out there is looking for some secret that they can buy when there is no secret. It's literally all out there for you to consume and see. The secret is figuring out what works for you in your business. The secret is being the fucking CEO who knows the right problem to solve and who's willing to do it and who's willing to sit in the discomfort and who's willing to do things differently. And that's who I support. And that's why I'm opening a week-long one-to-one coaching intensive for. So again, we'll put the best fit call link below. This is a consult. You are not on the hook to work with me. This is to see if this would even be a fit. I am very particular about who I support. I've had multiple sales calls recently who were referrals to me, but they were not a great fit for my work. I love them as humans, as business owners, but for what I do, it wasn't the right fit. So you're not on the hook if you book a consult. Like I will be the first one to tell you if I'm not the person for you. But we could talk about what it could be like to create your breakthrough offer. What is something that people are willing to invest a high ticket amount with you? How are we going to get that out there? What is the messaging behind it? What's the problem that you solve? We've got to get you visible because there are thousands of other people out there selling the same thing you do. So your messaging and your positioning needs to be on point. We need to have a nurturing sales process, a client journey, an offer suite, a ladder that helps someone take that easy next step for you, with you. Because yes, there will be people who land on your stuff and are ready to buy from you like yesterday. And some people just need to go through that process. So we're going to create that together. We can also talk about attracting best fit leads. Are you attracting best fit leads? Are you attracting shitty leads? How do you convert those leads? How do you have the sales calls and the best fit calls? Like there are so many places that we can work together to close that gap so that you can move on to the next thing. Because you can see these all flow together. They all build on each other. So you've got to have this beginning part working before you're solving for a sales call problem. So we want to diagnose exactly what your business needs right now, and then we can give you the support to actually fix it and move forward to the next thing. And that is how you create $65K in extra cash without working more, without adding to your expenses. That's how you cross the $1 million mark in your business. Being able to take a bunch of trips with your family, being able to take Fridays off with your kids, or to go play pickleball, or go to do whatever the F you want to. Like, this is how we build a scalable business. And I am so here to support you and have the conversation of what it could look like to do that in a week-long coaching intensive. So again, I've got one of these opening up this month in March. And I can't wait to talk to you and learn about your business and how I could possibly support you. So we will be back next week with a fun conversation. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day next week. So I've got a really fun conversation for that day. So again, drop your comments, leave your feedback. I can't wait to hear from you, and I'll see you next week.